And for that I will use the show input dialog of the JOption pane class. So I have a class called JOption pane. Okay, and this class has a show input dialog. Okay, and in it I will just give a message which is go ahead and make a guess. Okay, now you realize that I have some kind of a problem here because NetBeans is showing me those the error and the suggestion. So I will go ahead and click and see what NetBeans has to offer as a suggestion. It says add import for the JOption pane class. Yeah, that sounds reasonable. I will go ahead and add it. You see, I was trying to use a class that is not imported or not available with this library that I have. So basically now it's fixed, and whatever the user is entering will go inside a variable called input. Now what do I want to do? I want to go ahead and parse it into an integer and put it inside guess. Okay, so remember how? The parse int, and it recognized that I have a variable of a string type called input, so it's just available for me. And now I'm ready to do some checking. So I need an if statement, condition, or branching statement. If guess is not equal to num, that means the user did not guess, what do? I give him a message. So I will use also the JOption pane class to use one of its methods called show message dialog, and in here usually you can customize your message dialog with menus, let's say, if you want, but I will just put here null because it's expecting an object. And in here I will just simply give the message that I want, which is wrong guess. Go ahead and try again. Okay, this is it if the user did not guess actually. And what I want to do now is an else statement saying if the user did guess, then I'm gonna say in a message dialog, you guessed. Sometimes NetBeans is a little bit slow, by the way, you notice, so you have to give it some time. Show message dialog, and again I will say null, and in here I will go ahead and say good job, while loop will terminate. Okay, another thing I want to do is to disable the play button again. So I will say play button dot set enable, and what's the value? False. So let us take a look at our program now. As you see, disabled, number generated, I cannot see it, it's inside a variable called num. Okay, now I'm ready to make guesses between 1 and 10. Maybe I should have put a message here between 1 and 10, but for now we will just play it as it is. 2, wrong guess. So here I'm going to the if, they're not equal. So it was the number 5 and as soon as I guessed, it gave me the other message and it disabled this. So I'm ready to play again. I can do that and I can repeat the process again. Okay, so it's the number 2 this time. Good job. While loop will terminate. Okay, so the reason it terminates here is simply because the condition is not met anymore, so there is no reason to execute the body of my loop again. Okay, now as it is, the program is working. However, you realize that it's missing a lot of things. For example, the message that I should give here should say make a guess between 1 to 10. Okay, and then I need to make sure that the user is entering a number between 1 and 10. I need to make sure that the user is not entering text, they're entering numeric values. So my program has a lot of issues as it is right now, and I need to fix it. Remember how we deal with these issues? Well, I will use the try catch block. So I will try to do something that might cause a problem or an exception, and if it works, fine. If it doesn't, then I will catch that exception and provide a message. Okay, so I will go ahead and identify the piece of code that might cause an exception or an error, and it's right here. So if I try to parse something into an integer and that something is text, it's going to fail. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to highlight all of that. Okay, and just cut it, and let's try. Okay, so this is my try. In here I will try to do something, but usually every try needs a what? A catch. So I will try to catch my exception. Okay, and in here, go ahead. Okay, so if this is okay, fine. Else, what do I do? Maybe I need to provide a message. J option pane. Okay, null, and I provide my own message. Enter an integer, please. Okay, so basically if the user enters non-numeric value, they will see this. All right, otherwise let's take a look at the logic inside the try. Guess something, try to parse it into an integer. If it works, fine. If it doesn't, give me that message down here. Okay, let's try it. I will guess, and I will enter text. Enter an integer, please. Okay, so basically this is fine. But let's go ahead and make some guess, and I will enter 56, even though I have to enter between 1 and 10. Wrong guess, try again. So basically, there is no clue whether I'm doing the right thing or I am in the right range or not. So I need to fix that, otherwise the user might be guessing forever, and we don't want that. You can see, for example, even between 1 and 10, I'm not a good guesser. 7. All right, so it was 7.